Right, good evening, guys. Welcome to another Friday Waffle. Again, this is getting recorded yesterday, if that makes any sense. Obviously, depending on what day you're actually going to watch it. So anyway, yeah, I hope you're all good. What is going on with the weather? Bloody hell. The weather has been pretty insane up here in Scotland. In fact, I think it's been pretty insane all over the UK this last week. Last weekend, I believe, was it 32 degrees down in London? Just mental. I mean, up in Scotland, it was about 25, something like that. And this week, it has been very, very warm. But it's that kind of uncomfortable heat. It's not a dry heat. It's a very, very humid heat. But it's been like that virtually all week. And then what day was it? Not last night. The night before, Tuesday night, I was getting ready to go to bed. It was about 11 o'clock, and I'd put the light out, and I saw this what I thought was like a light flashing outside, and I thought, what the hell's going on out there? And it kept happening. I just assumed it was, a kind of garden floodlight or something, and it kept going on. I looked out, and it was like sheet lightning. Now, the funny thing was, I mean, it went on. I watched it for about 10 minutes, and it was probably every couple of seconds, the whole sky would just light up. It was literally like somebody putting a light on and off. Totally bizarre. Never seen lightning like it. And the weird thing was, there was absolutely no thunder until later on. About 2 a.m, I got woken up, basically, thunder and lightning. It was just going absolutely haywire, and it did thankfully kind of clear the air a wee bit, but it's just been the weather the last week or this week has just been bizarre, really bizarre. Now, I do like the heat, but when you're working, it's it's difficult. I'm inside most of the time, and where I'm working, I've got to wear a mask virtually, I wouldn't say 24/7, unless I'm in my own office. I've got to have a mask on, and so having a mask over your face coupled with the heat, it kind of makes for quite an uncomfortable working environment. But getting back to work, still really enjoying my job. I am daft busy. I mean, it's one of these jobs where I go in the morning, I think I'm going to do that, and that, and then you just get a phone call, or somebody's here to see you at reception, and you're running about. So every day is different. I don't think I've had the same day twice. Really enjoying it. I really am enjoying it. And it's quite funny. One thing, because I've got to I live quite a distance from where I work. Before I was working from home, so to kind of go for that, to having to travel a wee bit. I mean, I'm probably 40 minutes, 45 minutes every day. 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. It's fine. I mean, the roads are absolutely fine. But what I've started doing, it's almost become a bit of a kind of challenge. I'm trying to see if I can get as much fuel economy, or the best fuel economy as possible. So what I've discovered now, if I can kind of get the revs to sit at just about 2,000 or a wee bit less if possible, then that's given me pretty good mileage. I mean, 2,000 revs is about 60 miles an hour on the motorway. Now, normally I would do 70, but you know what? I'm reducing my speed just to try and get more mileage, because I'm doing about, all in, I'm doing about, well, it's 400 miles a week, which is quite a lot, to be fair. It's 40 miles there, 40 miles back. And I'm kind of getting about 65 miles to the gallon, so that's not bad at all. The car I've got, it's a little Peugeot 207. Didn't cost me a lot of money, but I've got to say it's fantastic with fuel. So I'm trying to kind of not go too fast, trying to get the best mileage as possible. But yeah, really enjoying the job. I really am. It's been a breath of fresh air to be in a place where you feel valued. Everybody is so nice, and I was kind of waiting for the bubble to burst, because when you start a new job, everybody's nice to you, and then after a week or so, you start to see kind of people's true colours. But I've got to say, everybody has been so nice, really have. So yeah, that's been that. On a gaming front, even in a video front, I mean, I think I put out one video this week. I also put out, thanks to my mate Paul Amos, who very kindly, in fact, he recorded the last half an hour of the 12-hour stream because I think I've mentioned it before. YouTube basically cut the video at 11 hours and 55 minutes, which meant we lost the last 30 minutes. I think it was 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Paul very, very luckily recorded the last half an hour, so he sent it to me, and what I've done is I've basically tagged it on and I've re-uploaded it. So it's the same video bar the last 35 minutes, but I wanted to, it was such a special day. I wanted to have the full unedited version for people to watch. If you have not watched it, well, I'll warn you now, it's 12 hours long, 12 hours and 21 minutes I think it was, but there's a lot of fantastic people on it, and I don't mean me or Panther. There's some fantastic guests. So if you have not watched that video, you're into video games, retro video games, go and check it out. Yeah, one thing. Good news and bad news. I got paid from Google. Hooray! I got £212 paid into my account today. Now, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but you need to remember that is, I think, about 4 years money. That's what I've made in 4 years, 200 quid. People will make that probably more in Patreon every month. As I've mentioned before, I've got no interest in Patreon, but I don't mind Google giving me a couple of pence, every time somebody watches my video. So I got 212 quid paid into my account today, and I thought, absolutely fantastic. I've waited 4 years for this. And what I was planning to do, and I may still do it, I thought I can't not do something with that money, because to have something like this earn me that kind of money is something pretty special. And I thought I cannot possibly use it to pay a bill or whatever. I'll need to buy something, buy something with the money. So what I did was I kind of transferred it out to my account, and then because I've started a new job, I've got a different, I get paid in the 9th of the month, which is a bizarre date to get paid. But previously I was paid at the end of the month, so all my direct debits come out on the 1st of the month. But because I get paid in the 9th of the month, I'm now going to have to kind of knock them back to the 9th. So I was going through all my kind of, my bank, my life assurance, my car insurance, all these things. And I went into my energy account. I use Eon, E-O-N. And now I've been paying for the last, 6 months, whatever, I've been paying just under 70 quid a month. Now, bearing in mind that I live on my own, I very, very rarely have the heating on. And, I wouldn't say I use a great deal of electricity. I don't know, maybe I do. So I've been paying, I think it's about 6 to 8 quid, something like that, for the last 10 months. And I went into my account tonight, and I was something like £400 underpaid. And it was recommending for me to be clear at the end of December. I had to up the payment from 70, whatever it was, £68 to £161. And you know what? That is complete bollocks. It really is. I mean, what is the point of these companies predicting, we're a lot cheaper than Scottish Gas? They slash your bills, but all that actually happens is it means that you underpay all this time. You think you're paying enough, you're underpaying all this time, and then you get hit with a massive bill. So what I thought I would do is I would use the money that I got from my YouTube account and basically paid that towards my gas and electricity bill. So it's not what I wanted to do with it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, because at the end of the day, if I didn't have that money, I'd have to have found it for somewhere else. But it's a wee bit disappointing when today I got an extra 200 quid and I've just instantly paid it out on my stupid gas and electricity. But that's my pet hate. You got all these companies that say, we can do it. How much are you paying? £100. We'll do it for 70 or whatever it is. and then you find out 6 months later, a year later, you've underpaid by like £1,000. So yeah, that's a bit bollocks. Just before I kind of crack on with the questions, I cannot not mention this: the ZX Spectrum. Sorry, it's not called the ZX Spectrum; it's called the Spectrum Next Kickstarter number 2. Now I don't know what it's up to. It went live on, was it yesterday or the day before? I think the funding. Excuse me. I think the target was going to be, was it 500,000 or was it 300,000? It is sitting earlier on this morning. I believe it was sitting at 900,000 backing. Now it would not surprise me at all if it breaks £1 million. Now that's, you know what, that is an absolutely incredible amount of money for something that is regarded as like a retro thing. But you know what? Fair play to the guys. I mean, I was very lucky. I've got my Spectrum Next. I don't know what the difference is. I take it that the new one's going to have, I think it's got 2 gig of memory. I don't know what the one I've got just now, is it 1 gig? Possibly. But yeah, for these guys, it just goes to show how popular something like that can be to pull in like £1 million. That is just fantastic. So massive congratulations to Henrik, Jim Bagley, and all the team. You know what I mean? And trust me, if you've backed it, I think you've got to wait a year to actually get your machine. But trust me, you're in for a massive, massive treat. You know, it's an absolute awesome bike. It really is. Saying that, I've not been using it that often. I'll need to kind of start using it a bit more. But yeah, Spectrum Next Kickstarter 2. Go and check it out. I don't think it's too late to back it. I don't know how long it runs for, whatever, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that breaks £1 million, which is just absolutely insane. So yeah, that's kind of it. But like I said, apart from, I don't know, what have I done this week? You know what? It's weird. I kind of feel like I get home from work, have my dinner, take the dogs out for a walk, you know, fanny about in the PC for an hour, whatever, watch something. And before I know it, it's like bedtime and you're back up for work. I don't know what's happened. I just feel like I've got less time at the moment to do stuff. Don't know why that is. But I promise you, I will be trying to get more videos out. I know I say that all the time. To be honest with you, I think with the weather being nice, I would rather be outside walking or going for a cycle or doing something than sitting making videos. I mean, I was in touch with Panther UK and Lacosa earlier on this week about, you know, we need to do another SID show, and Lacosa and I have got part 2 of games you need to play, games that aren't that well known. And I was suggesting to them this week that we did one, and both of them basically says, look, it's too warm. And you know what? You're absolutely right. It is too warm to be sitting in front of a computer. So I will try and I'm kind of conscious that my video output has been not great. You know, I tend to be putting out the same. I'm putting out Arcade Perfect My Arses. I'm putting out Face Off Kerfuffles, and I'm not doing much else. The thing is, some of the videos that I make, things like They Did What, where I look at a software company and I look at the back catalogue. The last one I did, I can't remember what company it was. It took me hours and hours and hours and hours to make this. And when you put it out, I wasn't getting that many people watching it. And compared to other videos that I do, I was getting very few. And you know what? You've got to, as much as I don't make videos to get big numbers, it's a wee bit disappointing when you put a lot of effort into making a video and it doesn't get watched by that many people. And to be honest with you, you know, I can't see me getting to a stage where I want to make videos like that take up way too much time, because there's just other things I want to do. I don't want to spend, I spend a lot of time at work on the computer. I don't want to come home and be sitting, on that. Again, in my old job that I had, recently, I could take a lunch hour or a lunch half hour, whatever, and I could sometimes make videos, but I don't work from home at all now. So I have got to travel to work, got to travel getting back from work. And I'm just too tired, but I will try and get more videos done. I'm conscious of not doing an awful lot. obviously I've got my Friday Waffle, I've got the live stream every Sunday, which I always really, really enjoy. But anyway, on that bombshell, I'm just going to batter straight into some questions. Excuse me. You know, I made myself a cup of coffee and I put some milk, which I thought was all right. And it's got wee kind of white bits floating in it. But you know what? It tastes absolutely fine. So anyway, Delboy 3K1. I've been in deep thought recently and have a question. What excites you more? A 35-year-old game that you have rediscovered, had forgotten about and is a gem, or a 35-year-old game recommended by a friend that you never played before and you end up loving? My answer, I thought they were the same, and then I remembered the joy I had with my dad playing a game I had forgotten about, and the memories flooded back in tearful ones as I miss my... Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, I'm just trying to... why is that going like so? Sorry, my screen was kind of narrowed down there. I thought they were the same there. I remember the joy I had with my dad playing a game I had forgotten about, and the memories flooded back in tearful ones as I miss my dad every day, and it changed my mind. But those memories tipped my point of view on the answer. I would appreciate your thoughts, Alan. Love your stream, as you know. Thanks for all within the community. You're all true pals. That's a lovely, lovely story, Dale. Really is. I don't know. I mean, it's always nice when you discover a game that you've never played before. I mean, when I go into MAME, I still find games. There's still thousands and thousands of games that I've never played before, and you discover it and you realise what a great game. I mean, I've discovered a few games like that, but I think you're right. I mean, there's games that I played back in the day, and revisiting them. Not so much 8-bit games, because I do find a lot of 8-bit games haven't really kind of weathered that particularly well. But yeah, you can't beat finding a game that you used to play. One of them that I did start playing, and I'll need to get back into it again, was World of Warcraft. No, sorry, not World of Warcraft. Warcraft. That was before it became this thing that people basically lost their lives to. Warcraft was... it's basically you've got to... You control either the orcs or the humans, I think it was. And you've basically got to, mine spice and kill things and that kind of stuff. It's a fantastic kind of point-and-click game. And I fairly recently downloaded this huge torrent, which has got thousands of all the old kind of PC games. And I played Warcraft, and you know what? I'd actually forgotten about just what an amazing game it is. Yeah, graphically, it's not kind of aged particularly well. It does look very, very, blocky looking, but which you would expect. But it's still an absolutely awesome game. Unfortunately, I never had any. I never had any games. I mean, my dad wasn't into computers at all. He had no interest in computer games at all. Neither did my mum. So I don't have that magical nostalgia. I do have nostalgia for lots of games that I did enjoy back in the day. Obviously, the ones that I enjoyed back then, stuff like Super Pipeline 2 and that, I still play to this day, still really enjoy. But yeah, there's some fantastic games, there's lots of fantastic games. And, I think I would probably agree with you, Dale. I think revisiting a game that I used to play and rediscovering how good it is lovely. It's a lovely thing to experience. Much as getting to play a new game you've never played before, that's nice, but you don't have the nostalgia. And nostalgia is a very, very powerful emotion. It really is. It's hard to actually describe what nostalgia is. For me, I think it's about when you experience something, whether it's music, whether it's revisiting a place, whether it's playing a game, whether it's a smell, taste, whatever. It takes you back to a time in your life that was happy, and and that kind of just just experiencing the game or whatever it is again, it brings back all the kind of endorphins and the feelings of happiness that you felt back then. It's a lovely, lovely thing, and it's something that when you're a kid, you don't really think about nostalgia. But as you get older, it's a wonderful memory. The only thing is, sometimes nostalgia is not always a good thing, because I don't know what it was. I would probably say about 10 years ago. I've no idea why, but I started to dream a lot about being 18 years old. 1985, I was 17, 18, and that period of my life was magical. I was living at home. Mum and dad were still here. I had no responsibilities. I had a job, but the only thing I had to worry about was having money for going to the pub on a Friday with my mates, buying Zap magazine, and buying computer games, and that was about the only three things I had to worry about. But yeah, for some strange reason, I kept dreaming about being back in this time, and even when I was awake, when I was at work or whatever, I was getting quite not homesick. I was really missing terribly being back there, and I went through a phase. I just kind of wanted. I just thought I would love to be back at that stage of my life. I don't know if there was any. If I was maybe going through some kind of worries in my personal life, I can't remember actually. From what I recall, I don't think I was, but I just had this pang to basically go back and to be back in 1985 again. It was a weird thing. So sometimes nostalgia isn't always good, because sometimes you can dwell in it too much. You can dwell in the past, and life is for living. Absolutely, by all means, look back with rose-colored spectacles, or look back and remember the good times. But try and always remember you've got to live in the future. You've got to live for the moment. But it was a weird thing. I just kept kind of reminiscing about being 18 years old and wishing I could be 18 years old in my bedroom with my Commodore 64, and just the whole innocence of being that age again. It was a weird thing, but really nice story, Dale. And I've got to say, you're saying there, thanks to everybody within the community. I mean, I say that every single week. I am so fortunate to have all you people. I think I'm more fortunate than a lot of YouTubers, because you watch kind of pretty much. I think there are a few channels. I mean, Novabug, for example, he names a lot of his friends who watch his channel. He's kind of similar to me. He'll refer to people, with their names. But most other retro channels, it's just the audience. It's just viewers. They don't really ever mention any viewers by name. But that's something that I never really set out to do that. But it's just something that I've done, and I wouldn't change it for the world, because I think it's lovely. On a Sunday night, I do the live stream, and even before I go in, when I kind of launch when I'm playing the little intro bit, my face, little thing spinning around, I can see all the people, and they're all like, "Evening, how you doing? Yeah, great, looking forward to this." And it's fantastic. It is so fantastic. It's lovely that that there's this little community. I mean, I'm not going to take any credit for doing that, but my channel has brought a bunch of people together, and it's magical. And just listen to comments from Dell, and the 12-hour live stream that we did a few weeks ago, having all these different people and friends in, and the fact that we raised all that money as well, was just awesome. I think I've got another 7 days until I can take the money out, and then I'm going to be what I'm planning to do is go to the bank, get 3 checks made up, and I'm hopefully going to get the big massive checks that you can kind of hand over, and get some pictures taken. So lovely comment, Dale. And I mean, you know what? You're a massive part of this as well. So it's an absolute pleasure to have you in. I really mean that. Yoldy Gamer Steve, another fine waffle, sir. Now, here's one for you. Which arcade game sucks more than Pengo, or isn't there one? Pengu's an interesting one. Yeah, that was a game that that was chosen for the high score kerfuffle. It's not a game I've played a lot. I have tried it on several occasions, including for the high score kerfuffle, and I struggled with the game mechanics. I struggled with how it really works. I couldn't really get my head around what I was trying to do. And, you know, it's not a game. Maybe if somebody showed me how to play it, it would maybe click. But for me, an arcade game should be instant. You shouldn't have to spend a bit of time working out how to do it. Maybe some people would disagree with me, but if I'm playing an arcade game, I want to be able to just, put my 10 pence in and right away I know what I'm doing. The best arcade games are the simplest ones. And I can never get to grips with Pengo. I mean, I'm trying to think of any other arcade games that I don't like. Rainbow Islands, make no bones about that. I don't know what it is. Is it because it's too cute? Even if you replace the cute graphics with, I don't know, soldiers, I don't think I would like it. There's just something about it. You can jump, you can run up rainbows. I don't know. Excuse me. Never been a fan of it at all. Same with Bubble Bobble. I used to play it a lot in the Atari ST with my mates, and I quite enjoyed playing it. Sort of the, what do you call it? The joint two-player games, co-op. That's the word I was looking for. But I don't know what it is. I've played it on MAME, and I don't know. I just find it dull. I find it boring. Don't know why, but I've never been a massive fan of kind of cute games, but then games like Rodland I think is fantastic. Even myself used to play it all the time. Any other arcade games that I'm not a fan of? I don't like. What don't I like? I've got to say, and I apologise to Mr. Studley, I'm not a fan of Pac-Man. I find it quite a boring game. I just don't enjoy the game at all. I don't like, is it Bubbles by Williams Software? Don't know what it is. There's probably a few others. The games that I enjoy are generally arcade shoot 'em ups, or kind of platform games like Shinobi, Rolling Thunder, whatever. But but Pengo, I'm not a fan of it at all, Steve. But thanks for your question, buddy. Ian Cullen, I might be misremembering this. Is that a word, misremembering? But didn't Valve's The Orange Box have developer commentary throughout as an option? Actually, somebody was asking me about, was it Wee Bob? I can't remember exactly. It was asking about, would having a director's commentary over a game be something that would work? I'm not too sure, Ian, actually. I mean, The Orange Box is a fantastic game. If you've got an Xbox 360, go and get The Orange Box. It's got Half-Life, is it Half-Life 1 and 2, Call of Duty possibly. It's got some like 4 games, plus it's got that weird game, what's it called? Begins with P. Oh, I can't remember. It's one where you kind of you transfer from Portal. That's the game. Yeah, did try that. Wasn't a big fan of it. Fred Blogs, top waffling chap. Simple question: Chucky Egg or Manic Miner? Manic Miner. The reason for that, I just think Manic Miner is a superb game. You've got to play it in a Spectrum, 100%. Love Manic Miner. I was going to say I'm fairly good at it. I can get to about level 5, which is probably pretty pants, to be honest with you. Chucky Egg, it's rubbish on the C64, so I never really played it much. I mean, I think it's meant to be. There's a bit of dispute as to what is the better version. Is it the BBC or is it the Spectrum one? You ask a Spectrum owner, he'll say the Spectrum, and vice versa for the BBC. It is a nice game. It's not one I've played a lot, but 100% Manic Miner. Down the rabbit hole for the Friday Waffle. Hi, Alan. Obviously, with COVID going on in the world, I have noticed a huge drop in the number of pickup videos that a lot of people do. And I wonder if you're missing such videos from retro YouTubers. Personally, I find them as dull as watching someone recite their shopping list. You know what, Kev? It's interesting. I was actually thinking about pickup videos fairly recently, and yeah, pickup videos were a massive thing. It's basically, yeah, I don't need to tell you what it is. You know, somebody opening a box. It depends what it is, Kev. You know, if it's something that I'm interested in seeing, then I quite like watching it. But largely, you know, I mean, you used to get some of the videos that some people used to make, you know, early days of YouTube, you know, showing you like 20 PlayStation 1 games that they'd bought, whatever. I never really saw the point of that. As you say, it's like somebody reciting their shopping list. Didn't really get that at all. But I think if it's something interesting or something rare, it can be quite interesting. You know, you're almost like taking part in opening the thing with the person. But yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't watch that many videos. I mean, I don't know where my time goes. I mean, I don't know. I do watch some videos from time to time, but I don't have a lot of time. You know, if I've got time, I would rather be making videos than watching them. But yeah, you never really see pickup videos in the same way like shout out videos. You know, it was quite a popular thing, but I don't know. Is it because are we getting saturated with channels? Are people becoming too, you know, me rather than giving out? I don't know. But yeah, I can't say I've kind of witnessed any pickup videos for a long time, Kevin. Like yourself, mate, I'm really not. Quite frankly, I'm not bothered. I don't miss them in one iota unless it's something quite interesting. Secondly, have there been any talks about any of the play events like Play Manchester or Play Blackpool ever coming back? No, I mean, there's still a ban on social gatherings in the UK. And I don't really, I can't imagine or can't actually think how something like that would actually work. Forgetting the social distancing, a big part of these events is obviously playing arcade games. Now, if you're going in and playing an arcade game, you would have to, you'd have to have someone, you'd have to have someone standing by with a spray to wash down the controls. Now, that's not going to happen. So I don't think we're going to see anything like that at all well into next year. I think it's going to be one of these things that they're going to almost have to wait until we've got a cure or a vaccine for the virus. I can't see that happening. I have missed them, it has to be said. I mean, was it this time last year? I was down in Blackpool. I was doing one of the, I was doing the panel talks, which was great fun. But yeah, there's certainly been no talk because I think that more than anything is an event. It's very much hands-on, and I can't imagine how they would possibly govern anything like that at all, Kev. But hopefully, like I said, hopefully we will get in a stage where we've got a vaccine and, you know, we can eventually get back to kind of mixing. Because even just, you know, I wouldn't say I'm getting depressed, but it feels like Groundhog Day every day for me. You know, you go to work, like I said, you go to work, you come home, and you're not doing a great deal because, you know, I know we can sort of see friends. I mean, I saw a mate tonight, actually. But yeah, I am missing these social events where I can get to meet friends and that kind of thing. Thirdly, I'm really looking forward to a few upcoming VR games, and I was just wondering if there's any on the horizon that interests you. I take it you're talking about PlayStation PSVR, Kev. I'll be honest, my PSVR, I've not switched it on in a long time. It's, you know, it's something that I don't know. It's something that I could possibly think about selling. I don't know. I won't at the moment because I will be getting a PS5, and I'm assuming it's going to, you know, it's going to use that. So I think I'll wait and see what happens on the PS5 front. But I've not been playing my PSVR at all. I mean, I've got the Oculus Quest there, which I keep meaning to do a video on. And I mean, my mate came up last night, and I was showing him that, and he's like, "This is unbelievable." He couldn't believe how good it was. So he said that's what he's getting for Christmas. But But yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to know, Kev, what games are coming out that you're interested in. I mean, I did buy a couple of games, maybe 6 months ago, and I've not played them, and that is just crazy. Same with Last of Us 2. Bought that when it came out. I've played it for 20 minutes. The problem is my daughter wanted to play it as well, so we decided we would play it between us, and we've just simply never done it. So yeah, it's a waste of money doing that. And finally, I'm afraid I can't really contribute to Nova Bug's foursome this month, as he has asked our favourite gaming magazines, and there weren't really that many here in Canada when I was growing up. I know you've read some of your favourites, but I wonder, did you buy those as a young lad, or were there magazines of yours that you collected later in life when you developed your hobby in all things retro? Yeah, I think as I've gotten older, Kev, the only magazine I do buy is Retro Gamer. I've got it since issue 1, so it's been going for 12 years, something like that. I don't know how many hundreds I've got. Well, 12 years, what's that? 10 monthly, 100, yeah, there must be about 150. And you know what? I must have about 2 years worth that are still in their cellophane. I've never opened them up. I don't know. I've got no interest. I actually, to be perfectly honest with you, and being perfectly blunt, I find a lot of the stuff that's in Retro Gamer quite boring. I almost feel like they're starting to run out of topics, and so they tend to devote lots of pages to single games. And you know, if you're not into that type of game, then you've got no interest in it. But yeah, all the games back in the day, you know, Zap, computer and video games, the Games Machine, Ace, Commodore User, ST format, Amiga format. I kind of lost interest when they became PC games. I just found the magazines became too, I don't know, up their own backsides, for want of a better phrase. I just found them boring, and I would look at, you know, you have 10 pages for a review, and what I tended to do is I would just flick to the percentage in the last page and think, whatever. So I kind of lost interest. I mean, I think, you know, my hobby has always been old games, and pretty much after the Amiga stopped being a thing, I lost interest in magazines. I would still buy them, and it would take me 10 minutes to flick through them. So, yeah. But anyway, Kev, thank you very, very much for the questions, as always, Squire. Vinny the Macam, for the next waffle, how about an idea for a new side channel all about your men's grooming tips, particularly beard dyeing? You need to change your name to Veinmeister. Now, I don't know if you're taking the piss, Vinny, but there's there's not a cat's hell chance that I would ever be that daft and try and do men's grooming tips. I mean, I don't know anything about that at all. You'll be delighted to know I have got some brown dye, so the next time I have to dye it is getting a wee bit grey looking now. It's going to be brown. I think I might have one more batch of black that I need to use, and then it's going to go back to brown again. But no, thanks. I might change my name to Veinmeister. Don't know. Panther UK. My second question from last week was a copy and paste of Milty's question about repeat questions, and then you gave a cracking answer. So fair play, and thanks for destroying a piss take. You know what, Chris? I can't even remember what you asked me and what I answered. For the very next waffle, of all your retro gear, what do you currently consider your precious? Golem, voice optional. I think you can probably see one of them behind me. I would say my Vectrex, probably my Commodore Amiga, and probably my Commodore 64, I think. Yeah, I think these would be the three systems that I would miss most of all. I mean, I've got tons of machines that I would miss, but yeah, C64, Amiga, and the Vectrex, definitely. Paul Morrison, in answer to why I recorded the last hour or so, I was cooking and I didn't want to miss Dave Perry. So you should thank him for that. Also, there's a good newer C64 shoot-'em-up called Sub Hunter that you should check out. And as far as 8-bits games to movies go, I always imagined Beyond Forbidden Forest as a Ray Harryhausen movie. I reckon it could stand comfortably alongside Jason and the Argonauts. That's not a bad one, actually, Paul. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Forbidden Forest actually as a movie. It would probably be absolutely shit, but having some giant plasticine skeletons and spiders, that would be pretty damn good. And very, very lastly, Milty Swinbuckle. Hello again, Main Meister. Question for next Waffle. Are there any games that are not really games you like? This is a hard one to explain, but the kind of things I mean are stuff that doesn't really give you a score or a purpose. It could be messing around in a sandbox type thingy, walking simulators, life simulators. I suppose a good example, of course, might be Sim City. The reason I ask is I remembered an Amiga program I used to mess around with, I think made by Richard Dawkins, an evolution simulation. Oh, wait a minute. That let you create animals by changing genes within the species. It was basic, but quite good fun and interesting. Is that not Eco? Is that not what you're thinking about? One of the more modern ones I like to mess around with is a walking simulator by Kawando that actually learns over time, becoming better at walking, running, jumping, and climbing, though it depends on how you design your creature. Anyway, just wondering if these type of programs interest you. I'll be honest, sandbox games like Grand Theft Auto, I just get bored very, very quickly. I just, games are too complicated. They just confuse me. And I get to a point where I actually don't know what I'm meant to do. I can't be arsed with games where you can go into a body shop and you can paint your car, or you can put a new exhaust in it, or you can buy new clothes. I'm not interested in doing that in games. I know some people love it. I know Lacosa loves things where you've got to craft, you've got to gather minerals and materials and all that kind of stuff. I can't be bothered with that. I just want an instant pick up and play. So that's why games like Grand Theft Auto 5, I just get bored of very quickly, and I give up because I really don't know what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, I think the game you're talking about is Eco. It was released by Ocean, and it was vector based, and I think he started off as like a spider, or he might have not even been a spider. He started off as a kind of low life insect, and then you could kind of change the genes and you become a spider, and then gradually you could become like a mammal. Then I think eventually you could become a human being. It was one of these games that seemed amazing at the time, and I think it was kind of. I think it was too far ahead of its time. I don't think the technology was really there, and ultimately it actually became quite a boring game to play. I should really check it out again. I've not played it for years. I might actually do that. I might do a Main Meister face-off kerfuffle, something like that. But yeah, I think that might be the game you're thinking of, Milty. But anyway, listen, guys, that's quite enough. I'm going to get to bed. I'm going to go for a quick bath and then get to my bed. So, listen, I hope you all have a really, really nice weekend. I hope you're all staying safe. This Sunday, there will be a live... I'm trying to think what I might do. I might do US Gold and maybe go for, I don't know, 1987, something like that. I'll have a look. I'll have a think about it. Yeah, it's going to be US Gold because the one I played last Sunday, we only played a handful of games. So I think I'm going to continue with US Gold because there's some cracking games out there. So it's going to be a US Gold special, and it's going to be the usual time, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock on Sunday. So please try and tune in if you can. And lastly, guys, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. And finally, thank you very, very much for watching.